Okay, everything should be running now. Okay, there we go. My camera's all cleaned off. But I haven't done a live in months, I believe. Yeah, last live I did was about a month ago. But what I want to talk to y'all about today is this, right? Stop doubting your own great. Stop doubting your own ability. Stop doubting your skill level. Stop doubting your talents. Stop doubting your intelligence. Stop doubting your attractiveness. Stop doubting you. We put so much emphasis on they're so much better than me. This person, that person. We look everywhere except at ourselves. We look at how great somebody else is. We look at how much money somebody else has. We look at what car they're driving. We look at what their living situation is, rather than looking at ourselves and looking at the greatness that we have, the ability that we have, the talents that we have. Now, for those who are new, my name is Lawrence. I'm a youth empowerment speaker, and I specialize in helping teens and young adults build self love, confidence, and a positive outlook on life. And throughout most of my life, I doubted myself. I didn't think I could. I didn't think I'd be able to achieve what I've done now. I would have never imagined I'd be in this office building with my own coffee machine right there and water fountains and just the life I live now, flying across the country, doing speeches, going on podcasts, and making a career of talking, making a career out of taking what I've been through and what I know and giving that to people and getting paid for that. I get paid to talk, basically. And I don't say that to brag. I simply say that to show other young people what is possible. I say that to show people that no matter what you've been through, you can achieve something. Because I didn't grow up with a good dad. That's just what it was. Nothing against them, no hatred, but we often have to remove people from our life to get to the life we were destined to. I know all of us have somebody who we're holding on to because, oh, maybe they could change. Maybe they could get better. Maybe this, maybe that. But what about you? What about we let go of dead weight? What about we let go of the baggage that is dragging us down? And as harsh as it sounds, that baggage can be people, it can be places you go, it could be things you do. But when you change who you're around, you change what you do, and you change what you allow into your influence, you change your mind and you change your life. Welcome to the live. Now, in case y'all joined a little bit late, here's who I am and here's a little bit about what I do. My name is Lawrence. I'm a youth empowerment speaker. So think about a motivational speaker, but I actually give you useful things that you can use in your day-to-day life. And what we're talking about today is stop doubting your own greatness. I know this might look weird on camera, but I have the webcam over here and my laptop's over here, so I'm reading off two different places. But back to the point. Throughout our life, people tell us, oh, just follow this path. You're thinking too big. People like us don't do that. Knowing your family became a doctor, knowing your family was a motivational speaker, knowing your family was an entrepreneur, so you can't, says who? Stop listening to people who haven't even tried. Stop listening to people who are in the bleachers while you're in the game. Stop trying to take the advice from people who don't even have the courage to dare. They think about a thing, they plan a thing, they imagine, they have hope and dreams, but they took no action. When you doubt yourself, when you are afraid to step out there and go for it, you will have times when you doubt the mission. And when that doubt creeps in, that fear creeps in, and you're afraid to go out there and do what God put you on this earth to do, you'll never have the life that you dream of. Because the way you turn your dreams into reality is by manifesting them. And we hear the word manifest and we think about crystals and woo woo spiritual stuff and affirmations. But manifestation is simply taking what you have up here into out here, taking the money that you want to make in here and getting that into your bank account, taking the dream life up here and bring that into fruition. Now, in case y'all are new, the way I do my lives is I come on here with a topic, and when people comment things, they ask questions, I will answer them. So I hope you guys are getting value from this. Now, why do we doubt ourselves? Where did this come from? Where does this hesitancy come from? Where did this fear of action come from? Where did this doubt come from? It comes from what you're around. It comes from what you allow people to say to you. It comes from what your family said, your friends said, what you listen to, what you watch, the habit you have. It comes from all of this. Because to make it simple, your brain and your mind is like a wet computer. And what you allow into your computer will program it. Imagine this. If I said, hey, I got this flash drive, can I plug this into your computer? And you don't look at the flash drive. You ain't put no virus protection on this thing. You ain't check it, make sure. You would be like, no, don't put that in there. But you're going to hang around people who tell you bad stuff about yourself. You're going to listen to the advice of people who are afraid to try. You'll listen to advice from people who are not even qualified to give you that advice, but you wouldn't let me plug a flash drive into your computer with no virus protection. Think about that. You will allow people, places, and things to influence your mind, but you wouldn't let somebody influence your computer or your phone, but you'll allow them to influence your mind? Makes no sense. Now, I hope I'm making sense to y'all though, because when I get on here, I just start going off. And you're gonna have a lot of times when you're moving through life, you're trying to elevate. You want to start that business. You want to open up that salon. You want to start selling food. You want to become an entrepreneur. You want to learn a skill, go to trade school, graduate from college. You want to do something big. And that doubt comes in. It'll come in. It'll be like, yeah, but you know your family didn't do it. You know nobody you're around did it. You know people are going to doubt you. So what? So what? If you believe in yourself and you take committed action, and when that doubt creeps in, you say, yeah, I hear it. Yeah, I know that that doubt is creeping in the back of my mind. Yeah, I know that there's just fear. I know there's just hesitance. But are you going to listen to the fear, or are you going to listen to your faith? Are you going to listen to what you doubt, or are you going to listen to what you know? Because you're going to have a lot of thoughts. I believe the number is like 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. You're going to have thoughts all the time. All the time, your brain just going. However, you have to listen to the thoughts that will get you to where you want to be. You have to listen to the people, places, and things that are supporting you, not taking from you. You have to listen to what is bringing value, not draining you. You have to be willing to cut off those friends. You know who they are. Oh, but we've been friends since third grade. Yeah, y'all were friends since third grade, but now you're trying to elevate, and they're like, no, let's just stay here. Might be a relationship, might be family. You know those habits you have, those vices. You got to put down that bottle. You got to stop hanging around certain people. You can't be going certain places. You would not see a king and the peasants in the same place. You wouldn't see it. That's for a reason. Billionaires have a billionaire friends for a reason. People who have certain addictions hang out with people with those same addictions for a reason. Like is similar to like. Birds of a feather flock together. So if you've been around people your whole life who've been at this level and you're trying to go up here, you have to be willing. Thank you for the support right there. You have to be willing to let go of what was good back then in order to get to what is great now. You have to be willing to let go of the past in order to get to the future. You have to be willing to cut off those friends, cut off those people, cut off those habits, cut off those addictions to get to where you're meant to be. Because You can't take the life you used to have. You can't take level 1 into level 10. It don't work like that. In order to make room for greatness, in order to make room for that healthy relationship, for those healthy friends, for that good family, for all the things you want, in order to have the life that you want, you have to make room. In order to make room, you have to let go. And in order to let go, you must be willing to go through that pain. You must be willing to go through that suffering of it. Things are different now. You're not used to this. Yeah, if y'all got questions, y'all got comments, feel free to put them in there because this is going up on YouTube later. So to the people watching this on YouTube, it may sound choppy, but this was Arena TikTok Live. Also, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Lawrence C. Empowers. I put out videos every single day on top of my TikToks. And if there's anything you guys want me to talk about, put it in the comments and I'll read it when I get to it. Now, something that I often have dealt with is as you start elevating and that doubt comes back in, it's like an imposter syndrome, but on a new level. Fear of going live. Okay, so like the fear of people judging you. Yeah, that's a great one. We're going to get into that. So as you start elevating, you're going to have this imposter syndrome that says, I was good enough for that, but am I good enough for this up here? I was good enough for that podcast that had 500 on it, but am I good enough for this podcast that got 5,000 viewers? Am I good enough for that? And it's simple. You have to listen to your faith. You have to listen to what you believe. You have to listen to your own greatness. And you have to be willing to dare. You have to be willing to say, yes, this is different, but I'm trying it anyway. Yes, I'm scared. Yes, I'm afraid, but I don't have to act afraid. You can feel afraid. You can feel nervous. You can feel doubt, but that don't mean you need to listen to it. That doesn't mean you need to follow it. That doesn't mean you need to allow yourself to be held back by it. No, you have to be willing to go through it in order to get to the life that you want. Now, that fear of going live, that fear of starting that TikTok, that fear of putting yourself out there, really, that just comes from the fear of criticism. That comes from the fear of what are people going to think of me? What if nobody watches it? What if this? What if that? Or it could be, what if it actually goes well? That's something a lot of people don't talk about. A lot of people unknowingly have a fear of life being good because we've gotten so used to scarcity. We've gotten so used to being held back. We've gotten so used to people not liking us, to people not supporting us, to people not showing up for us that subconsciously we're afraid of life being good because what if I make a lot of money and then people only want me for my money? That's why a lot of people are afraid of money. It's because you're afraid of people trying to use you, people trying to take advantage of you. And then you ask yourself, where does that come from? Maybe when you were younger, somebody did something to you. Maybe when you were younger, you got backstabbed. Maybe when you were younger, you saw family members taking money from each other and stealing. Maybe when you were younger, people never paid you back. And because of that, you've internalized the fear of people trying to take your money if you were to become a multimillionaire. Think on that. Think on it. Or another thing, right? The fear of judgment. For me, when I was in high school, I was not that guy. When I was in high school, people were not really around me like that. So deep down, I had this thought of, what if now when I become famous and this and that and everything goes good for me, what if people only want to be around me because I got a little bit of fame? I'm not no celebrity or anything, but in my city, I have a little bit of buzz, okay? Things are going good for me. I've gone on like 30-something podcasts this year. Life is great. And as I was doing this, I started noticing myself thinking, what if people only want to be around me because now I'm that guy? What if people only want to be around me because now I got this, and now I got the office, and now I got the suit, and now I'm doing this? What if that? And I had to tell myself, Lawrence, Of course, people want to be around you because you're that guy. People like cool people, and you're a cool person, so people want to be around you because you're cool. And that's not to say everybody's trying to snake you out, that everybody's trying to take something from you, or everybody's trying to leech off of you. But no, it's to say that you are somebody that people want to be around. So, of course, they're going to want to be around you. Now, another thing I want to follow in on is how growing up, I used to get told to humble myself. Let's look up the definition of humble right now, actually. Because I made a YouTube video on this, and a lot of people they took it way out of context. They were thinking I was trying to say become like egomaniacs or something. No, the definition of humble, word for word, the definition of humble, according to Google, having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance. Number two, of low social, administrative, or political rank. Three, modest presentations or dimensions. As in to say, the definition of being humble is to think low of yourself. If you think low of yourself, how do you expect to have a big life? If you think low of yourself, how do you expect to become the first millionaire in your family? How do you expect to retire your mom? How do you expect to pay off the house? How do you expect to live the life of your dreams if you think low of yourself? If you keep being humble, how do you expect to achieve greatness? If you keep being humble, how do you expect to achieve excellency? If you keep thinking humble, how do you expect to be the reason why your wife don't need to work? How do you expect to be somebody who has financial freedom for your family if you think humble of yourself? Now, I'm not saying you go around beating on your chest. No, that's arrogance. I'm not saying that you go around telling everybody that you're better than them. No, that's arrogance. That's cockiness. I'm saying know who you are. Know where you stand. Be what you are. If you're a multimillionaire, it's not arrogance. If you are talented, if you're dedicated, if you're hardworking, if you're showing up, if you're putting that work in, it's not arrogance. It's not cockiness. It's not braggadocious. It is who you are. Humble, when someone tells you, be humble, cut that person off. It might sound harsh, but ask them, do they know the definition of humble? Because if you knew what the definition of humble is, you wouldn't want to be humble. Mm. I'm snapping today. Ain't no way. Yeah, ain't no way I'm listening to that. Because ain't no way somebody's gonna tell me to not be who I am. To tell me to not achieve what I know I'm capable of. To tell me that I can't when I know I can. To tell me I'm not when I know I am. I know what I am. I know I'm good at what I do. Road low key fire, keep up the good work, yo. Thank you. Yeah, make sure y'all follow because I'll be really doing this. I'm really out here giving y'all content every day on my YouTube. On my YouTube, I'm posting a video a day. I'm posting 3 TikToks. I'm sending emails. I'm putting this work in. I'm putting this work in. I'm not somebody who comes online and I'm some like internet guru. No, I'm not telling you buy $1 million course and make me rich or something. I'm not telling you some crazy thing. No, I'm out here coming on these lives, giving y'all value every day. I'm selling books. I'm trying to make an honest living out here. I'm actually trying to give back to the world. And I was reading the Bible. Okay, so how do you switch the mindset from being humble towards confidence? Oh, great question right there. We're going to get into that. So, how do you go from humble to confidence? Remind yourself who you are. That's how I did it. Because when I was younger, I used to really think low of myself. I used to really think I couldn't be nothing. But now, I'm going to show y'all this. Let me just show you. This is my office. This is my office. It's a whole floor. I got a coffee machine back there. I got a water fountain. I'm living good. So how in the world did I go from that humble, low thinking to this? How did I change the mindset? Right? Here's how I did it. Show yourself your results. If you start a business, you're thinking, yeah, but what if nobody buys it? Every time somebody bought my books, every time somebody bought my products, every time somebody signed up, every time somebody became a TikTok subscriber, I remind myself of that. Lawrence, Punk got in the office. Yup, yes I do. Yes I do. Every time when you have a good result, remind yourself of that. When you go to the gym, let's say you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to gain muscle. Take progress photos. Every month, show yourself. This month, I went on 5 podcasts. This month, I lost 10 pounds. This month, my bench press went up by 20 pounds. This month, here's my results. And then the next month, and then the next month, and the next month. And now you have built up results. And you remind yourself what you have achieved. And because you are reminding yourself what you have achieved, you become undeniable. It's undeniable that I'm good at what I do. And I know I'm good at what I do because I remind myself of it. And you need to also remove people, places, and things that are trying to hold you back, right? I know it's hard, but I had to do this. When I was 13, I cut off a lot of my family because they just weren't good for me. I'm not going to get into the details of it right now, long story short, but uh, what's the first step to make mad rap? We're going to get into that too, right? Because that's a good question. But to clear up the point on changing the mindset of humbleness to confidence, you got to remove the people, places, and things that aren't good for you. You have to show yourself your results, remind yourself, progress photos, keeping notes on how much money you made, how many sales you made, how many pounds you lost. Whatever the goal is, remind yourself of your results. Take action, and action creates results. Those results show you that you have achieved what you want to achieve. What the first step to make mad rest? Right now, I'm not no financial advisor. I'm not no financial guru. I'm not a millionaire. I'm not any of that. But the first step, figure out how you want to do it, legally, of course. Take action. Learn. Do it. As cheesy as it sounds, the first way to achieve any goal is start. If you wanted to lose 50 pounds, the first step, get a gym membership. Go to the gym. Get on the treadmill. Change your eating habits. But the first step is start. The first step is start. If you want to make money with a business, right? The first step, make a business. Then after that, start selling products. Sell your t-shirts out your car if you need to. Sell planners out of your house. You don't need the office on day one. You don't need the brick and mortar shop on day one. You don't need the $50,000 camera and all these things on day one. Just start. Make a post. Yup. Let me read that. The second best time to plant a tree is today. Yes. Because if you started back then, imagine how far you'd be today. But if you start today, imagine how far you'll be in 10 years. A lot of times we overestimate what we can do in a year and we underestimate what we could do in 10. A tree does not grow overnight. Grass does. If you plant grass in a week, your entire lawn is ready. But if you plant a tree, next year, nothing's happened. A year after that, it's sprouted. 10 years later, you got a giant tree. 20 years later, this thing is massive. But we want the fast result. We want it easy. We want it right now. We want that overnight success. We want that one quick thing and then everything's right. We want that immediate result, ignoring the fact that immediate results can be taken away that quick. What in the world? Yeah, I ain't even responding to that. We were doing so good until I read that. What in the world? Hey, I'm gonna just take it as a compliment. I don't know what you meant by that, but hey, no. Thank you, I guess. But we overestimate what we could do in a year, yet ironically we underestimate what we could do in 10 years. Hello. Yeah, I'm making a YouTube video right now. But back to the point. When we're doubting ourselves on what's possible now, well, we doubt what we could do in 10 years, but underestimate what we could do in just this year. Yeah, I just said that backwards. My mind got like knocked off. How do I get people to love? Well, the first step on that is honestly, you just need to love yourself. I know as cheesy as it sounds, but the relationship you have with yourself sets the tone for the relationship you have with other people and the life that you will have. So if you don't feel good with yourself, it'll be really hard for somebody else to want to be around you. Think of it this way. You ever met somebody who is just always down? Like you ever met somebody who's always in a bad attitude, they're angry all the time, they're stressed out all the time, they're always complaining? You don't want to be around that person. So if you are placing your self-worth in how do I get this other person to love me? How do I get this person to want to be around me? But you don't even want to be around yourself. That's number one. Number one is focus on loving yourself before trying to get other people to love you. After that, live a life that you enjoy. Because if you enjoy yourself and you feel good about who you are, it's a lot easier after that point to find somebody who wants to be a part of that. Nobody wants to be on a ship that is sinking. People want to be on the boat that has a strong foundation. The captain knows where it's going. They have their sight and know their destination. So first off, love yourself before trying to get other people to love you. After that, enjoy your life. Get some hobbies. Have fun. Do things that you're proud of. Live a life that makes you happy. Be somebody that you can look in the mirror and be proud of. Then after that, I would say, go outside. Talk to people. Hello, I like your dress. What's your name? Where did you get that necklace? What book are you reading? How do you remain consistent throughout distraction? Oh, I get distracted a lot. I get distracted so much. But something that has helped me a lot, you need to learn how to eliminate distractions. You need to learn how to eliminate distractions. I have one of these. It's called a Bloom card. Let me show you what it does. Because a lot of people, you get distracted from your phone. Yeah, a lot of people, you get distracted when you're using your phone. So let me show you this, right? You see how I could just go on like YouTube or something, like I'm on YouTube right now. Um, I'm on my Google Drive. You could just go on your phone and get distracted. What this does is it has a thing like this. It's an app. It's called Bloom. I recommend y'all get this. You press this button right here, and it says just block it. I'm trying to keep it in frame. And you tap the card. Now you tapped it. And you see how now you can't go on your apps? You can't get distracted because unless you tap that card again, it just disables all your apps. Like you can't go on it. So that's one way. Another way is figure out what makes you distracted. For example, a lot of people, it's music. You're always listening to music. You're always going out when you know you shouldn't be. A schedule. There's a lot of ways to become less distracted and be more consistent. But what I found is make it hard to get distracted. Keep your phone in a different room. There's a lot of things you can do. You can tell Lawrence is a lady man. I really wouldn't call myself one, honestly, because I'm the kind of person where I ask really deep questions. I ask questions that really dig into the core of who a person is, and most people aren't ready to have those types of discussions. Most people aren't ready to really talk about anything that's really meaningful. Most people aren't ready for that. So it can kind of come off a little scary to most people when they're on a date and I ask them, like, hey, what's your dreams and aspirations for life? What really wakes you up in the morning? Where do you see yourself being? I don't act on like a first date, but those are the types of conversations I have. The same way I come on here and I talk about my life and about things I've been through, that's the same way I am on dates. How do you get so many women? By not wanting them. Like I said earlier, when you are chasing after a person or a thing, it runs from you. It's like a cat. So if you're chasing money, like you're chasing money, I need more, I need more, I need more, it'll never be enough. But when you learn to be grateful and enjoy what you have, money comes running to you. It's like in high school, the dude who had the most women was the dude who didn't want them. Not to say that he was like brushing them off or like didn't care about them, but it was that he didn't care about the pursuit of it. He didn't care about chasing after people. So because of that, that confidence and that self-love attracts people because people want to be around people who love themselves. So I would say love yourself. Be proud of who you are. Enjoy you. Let me see what time it is, because in a little bit I gotta go grab my food. Yeah. I'm getting hungry, so I need to start going out. Stop chasing what you want and you'll walk into what you need. Yes. Yes. We want $1 million, but if you stop chasing $1 million, ironically, somehow, through the wonders of God, the universe, whatever you believe in, you will find yourself in much better situations than you originally planned. We want a certain job, but if you stop chasing that thing, somehow you end up with something that's even better. Somehow, when you stop chasing after people, people want to be around you. When you stop chasing money, money wants to be around you. When you stop chasing around these things, right? There's another thing, right? Chasing is from a place of scarcity. Chasing puts you in a state of desperation. I need it, I need it, I need it, I want it so bad. But when you stop running after it, it will run towards you. When you stop chasing after people, people will come to you. When you stop chasing after money, money comes to you. When you stop chasing after opportunities, opportunities come to you. Yeah, but let me see what time it is. Yeah, make sure y'all follow and subscribe to this because I gotta head out. I gotta go grab my food. But I really enjoyed this. I might start doing live more consistently. Especially now, given that I know on weekends nobody else comes to this office except me and the security guard. It's a wonderful place. Remember, love yourself, go out there, take opportunities, and achieve your goals. And this last part is for YouTube because I'm going to upload this. If you're a podcast host or you run a youth organization, you can contact me at my email address below. If you'd like to buy my books, you can find that in the YouTube description below. And last, have a wonderful, blessed, and lovely day. Have a good one. All right, now let me see how do I end this live right here. Yeah, let me figure out how do I end it because I haven't done this in such a long time. Okay, there it is. Have a good day.